Wider Lens, stories from the World Race. In our last episode, God used world racers to plant a church in a park in Myanmar. And this episode, we're going to look at what happened after the squad left. Did the church keep growing? Is it even still there? What happened in their first year as a faith community?
We got to see a miracle happen right before we left. We had Teacher Meng to disciple the men after we left, but we were really praying that God would send in a strong woman of God that could continue to pour into these girls and disciple them after we left. 3 or so days before we left, Teacher Meng pulled us aside and was like, "You're not going to believe this, it's a miracle." The covering organization that he had been working with, they said that they were sending in a woman named Chucky to help oversee the church. She's very apostolic, and she was going to help him plant this church.
When I got here, that was last March. There was like a team of world racers led by Stephanie. They were doing park evangelism, but they were really into the ministry, and I saw the fruit of that. I saw how effective they were in just, making friends with the locals.
She was ready to commit to staying here for a year, and she planned on having women's Bible studies and women's fellowship.
Within 3 days, the world racers left, and that was the start of my adventure here in Myanmar.
She came in and she started building relationships with the girls and Rose right away. And so she was actually there when we baptized Rose.
She has been very encouraging to other people. She's been bold sharing her testimony, especially to other Muslims.
Once I got here, Chucky got to share with me a cool testimony of a girl named Shinta. Shinta knew Rose, and Rose invited her to church.
I'm model, so she's a photographer. So we joined in the Facebook.
She didn't really know much about the Lord. Shinta is Buddhist, but she was interested in studying ballet in the Philippines. And so Rose said, "Hey, you have to meet my teacher from the Philippines, and she's a ballerina."
Teacher Chucky, she's a ballerina. So I wanted, I'm not interested in the Christian. I don't want to join a woman fellowship.
Shinta's experience with Christians was just like, where do you think you're going after you die? Like, do you know if you're going to go to heaven or go to hell? And she just didn't have a very good experience with Christians in her life.
I said, "Please bring her to Sunday service." And so she showed up with her arms crossed, and she was like, "Who are these people?"
I'm just listening, and I'm like that. Sad. No.
But then Chucky started to share about Jesus, and she presented the gospel. Shinta's posture changed, and she seemed like more interested. So it was obvious that it was the first time she actually heard the gospel presented, just the truth of who Jesus is and what he did.
She kept coming. She kept coming back. We kept inviting her, and then she came to women's Bible study, and she would rarely miss women's Bible study. I think early this year, January, was when she went to the Philippines.
But I think I'm going to Philippines. That is, I'm ballerina, I'm studying. That is reason, but no.
First time she attended Alabang New Life Church, I was getting so many text messages from her. She's like, "Wow, wow, wow," because she never realized what church could be like. Because to her, church was, my living room or the center, the English center.
I feel something inside. I don't understand it, but the feeling is really more powerful for me.
She was so floored, like, wow, I didn't imagine Christianity could be this way. So much freedom. Church is family, and not just like a small unit, but a huge group of people loving God, yeah.
This time I understand and I believe, and then I want to learn more and more.
That was like 3 or 4 months ago, and when you talk to Shinta now, you would just never know that she's like 3 months in, 4 months in. And she's super passionate when she worships, and she loves telling people her testimony.
And this time, I'm really Jesus. I'm not Buddhist, so I'm just follow the Jesus.
So last
Sunday, Shinta shared her testimony about what the Lord has been doing in her life, and it was very good for a lot of people to hear about that, especially in this culture. You don't really hear a lot of testimonies about Jesus, and there were people who've never heard the gospel, and so the way it was presented is very real, very genuine, just coming out of her heart.
And then like the next day, God came through, or he provided for her in this crazy, awesome way. And so just to see that multiplication, getting to see Rosa's face when she realized that God used her to bring someone into the kingdom too, that was so cool.